the light is on. We've got 28 miles to go to a service station. Am I panicking? No. If we don't make it, I'll be back on here crying by the side of the road with a jerry can. That would be a fun day. So I found out the answer the hard way. So, moral of the story, don't chance it. Okay, so let's have a recap, shall we? We were doing really well. Missed a petrol station because I gambled, and then as soon as I went past it, because I had no idea where the next one was, I took a gamble, went past it, and then it came up on TomTom that it was 38 miles to the next services. At 30 miles to the services, the light came on, so I'm thinking, okay, we could be good here, because I know that I've done about 40 plus when the light has come on. And literally 10 miles in, I think it was something like 18 miles left, so I'd done about 12 miles out of that 30. And it died. So, what have we learned? We've learned that when the light comes on, you're not good for 40 miles, you're not good for 30 miles, you're not good for 20, you're only good for 10. Now that, we can debunk all of that, because I know that I've done 40. I know that there's times that I've done, it's come on when I've been parked up and I've had the diesel heater on, and then I've gone and driven to the next petrol station 20 miles or so later. So I know that's not correct, but in this instance it chose to bite me in the arse, which is a real shame. Did all the things, you know, got the yellow jacket out, put the triangle out. I tried to phone my green flag because I'm pretty sure I've got European cover, but they wouldn't answer the phone. The whole app was only allowing me to put in, where have you broken down on the motorway, and then it listed every single motorway in Britain. Wouldn't even kind of acknowledge the fact that I'm not even in Britain. So that's shit. I need to have a phone call with them and find out what the deal is there. So I go to the orange box, the SOS box, and you've got like emergency, you've got like a first aid thing, and then there's like a mechanical thing. And the guy was really good, you know, he spoke English, he actually spoke Spanish, because he did ask me once I told him my name, he said, do I want to speak in Spanish? I said, no, let's carry on speaking in English. But it's hard, you know, very broken English. It's really difficult to hear him because of the sound of the fucking motorway. They need to put it in like a little cubicle or something, because fucking hell, it was so hard to hear. Anyway, he said someone was going to come. He said they were going to pay. I had to pay, and that's all fine. And then he said it was the ADAC man. Then the ADAC man phoned me, but it got cut off. So I waited 15 minutes, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to call him back, the number that called me, and it was the man. So, and he was 10 minutes away. So in all, I was probably on that hard shoulder for just over half an hour, maybe about half an hour. Now, the bitter pill to swallow here is that obviously I've had to get a German motor service company to come out and help me. They'd always charge you for putting in fuel and then what have not. So it's charged me 170 euros. And what was so hard was that literally we drove off the junction that I was cruising up to, off that junction, turned left through an industrial estate. We were literally 3 kilometers away from his garage, and on the roundabout where that garage was, there was a fuel station. So, you know, I was so unbelievably close. But look how close I am to the border. Here I am. Here is Netherlands, 2,000 meters. So that's, you know, that's difficult, knowing that I was so close to a fuel station, not the one that TomTom was going to get me to, but I was so close. Now, the things to be learned. Okay, don't trust the light and what have not. Now, obviously, some modern ones, they'll tell you, they'll give you a countdown of how many miles to go, sort of thing. This doesn't, so you really are in a lap of the gods. So normally, as a rule of thumb, the light comes on, I just go straight to a fuel station. But in that instance there, that fuel station was out of reach for me, and say the light didn't come on when there was a fuel station that I could have stopped at. Theoretically, I could have gone off at the one where there was a big sign and stuff like that. And this is another thing, you see, they don't always tell you where the nearest fuel station actually is. We are now officially in the Netherlands. So that's always a bit tricksy. And and then not only that, there's the thing, depending what sat nav you use. So my Maps Me, it doesn't tell me where the fuel stations are. I don't have that option. I need to study it more, because it's quite involved, and I haven't really looked at it properly. Maybe there is a thing where you can put in fuel stations and stuff, and it will tell me where they are, the nearest one. Okay. But the TomTom only tells you the ones that are literally on the route, and that's not just down there by a kilometre, it's the ones that are actually on the motorway itself, or the road itself. So that's a bit frustrating, because I was really incredibly close to one. I mean, in fact, so close that had I known that was the case, I could have probably at a push walked it. It would have taken a while, and you know, because I would have, yeah. But yeah. Anyway, I could have used Google Maps, gone for. But the thing is, to be honest with you, I don't want to leave the van unattended on a hard shoulder anyway. I don't think it's the dumb thing. So, yeah, lessons to be learned. Don't trust the light on your fuel gauge. Look at other options rather than the TomTom sat nav. If you are going to do a long journey and you're going to be filling up multiple times, maybe the first time that you fill up, just fill up the jerry can, because at the end of the day, you can pour it in when you're going to get on the ferry, etc. You know, why I don't do that, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I had fuel in when I did the Ukraine trip. But anyway, this time I didn't, which, you know, is a costly mistake. So yes, it's been a very costly mistake, you know, because it's cost me 170 euros. That fueling up cost me 107 euros. And here's an interesting thing as well. I always thought my tank was 55 litres, because every time I filled up in the UK, it's 55 litres. But there, I mean, maybe it's because I was properly on empty. It was 60 litres to fill up. There was no food in that Shell garage. I've literally got cheese balls, some pretzel sticks, I've got a can of coffee, I've got some juice, I'm just going to head for it because according to the sat nav I'm not going to get there until 5:45. I told him I'd be there between the hours of 5 and 6. So providing that traffic is all okay and there are no roadworks, etc, etc, hopefully I'll make it there in time. It's been an expensive trip, this. Hey, and I'll do that for you, by the way. When this is all over and everything, and all these videos go out, I'll go back and I'll look at all of the statements and receipts, etc, and I'll tell you how much I've spent in fuel, how much I put on my Revolut card, you know, for food, expenses, stuff like that. You know, I'll be very, very transparent with you, and I'll tell you exactly how much this trip has cost. It's probably in the region of about £2,000. I wouldn't be at all surprised. That's me guessing now. I'm gonna come up with a figure and then we'll get back to you at the end, but you'll know now that I'm going to guess that this trip in total, ferry fares, all of that, bridge crossings, etc, etc, it's probably cost me about, I'm going to go for £2,200. That's my guess. Anyway, we're in Holland, which is good, and we have 128 miles to go. Let's get cracking. Cheese balls, here we come. Me that I'm going to get there at 5:45, 17:45. It's now actually 16:43, so almost 4:45. So one more hour to do 54 miles. It's not been too bad. It's kind of been a steady 60, 65. Yeah. One thing that is very apparent from having spent a week and a half in Sweden, Norway, so is that, yeah, this part of Europe is chock-a-block. You know, there's a lot of cars. I mean, everything's moving, to be fair, you know, and the thing is, I suppose this part of Holland, you do have a lot of cities that are all fairly close. I mean, I know Holland's not the largest of countries, but you know, we're only 77 kilometres away from Rotterdam. Before that, you've got The Hague, you've then got Utrecht, Amersfoort, Amsterdam, and all of these within, I don't know, maybe a 50-60 mile radius. So there's a lot of there's a lot of people, hence there being a lot of cars, but everything's moving. You know, we're still doing a decent 100. Well, the speed limit is 100k. We're doing a little bit over that. Most things are overtaking me at that. But yeah, so hopefully I will get there for 5:45. I did say on the booking form, I left a note to say that I'd be there between 5 and 6. I've tried to call them, but my phone won't get through to them. That's another thing I've noticed. I mean, I need to, obviously I want to do this a lot more, and I've already done quite a lot of European travelling and everything, but my phone is rubbish because it eats up data like no one's business. So I'm having to pay for new plans each and every time. So I need to have a word with giffgaff to find out what the deal is there, because the EU roaming is jack shit, and it's annoying because I'm paying like 35 quid for unlimited data. This is in the UK, but you come over here and you're just getting hardly any data. So I'm having to renew the plan. I've renewed the plan 3 times, so that's cost me £105. And I bet you any money in the couple of days that I'm in The Hague, it's going to come up going, you've only got 20% left of your EU roaming. And nowadays, you need data, everything, you know, you need it for Google Maps, you need everything. Can't exist without data now. So, yeah, I need to sort out something like get another provider or even swap out what I've got in the back there, because I've got the Smarty SIM card in the back and that doesn't do any well. I can't get any service with that here, so I can't even use the data off my Wi-Fi. But anyway, it's been a good journey. This is a long journey. Don't know if I'm going to film much more to it. I might film as we get in or something like that, and then I'll do like a recap either tonight once we're camped, or tomorrow morning, all going well that we get camped and settled in. That's the other thing, I don't have any cash, so I really hope they're going to take a card. If not, I'm going to have to persuade them to, well, I've got £20 in sterling, say look, take that as insurance whilst I go get on my bike and go to a cash machine, and I'll get some cash out. I've got a sneaky feeling, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I read that this place has a bar and maybe even like a cafe stroke restaurant. If it does, after the day that I've had today, if it does, I'm going to treat myself and have a meal. But if not, I'll just rustle something up in the back. But it's been an amazing day. Another school day. I've learned something new to my cost. I did 6¼ hours until I was forced to stop. I was on for about, I reckon I would have done 6½ hours. But in the end it was 6¼ hours. And that stop was literally forced by the van literally running out of fuel. So yeah, so I may get back to you later on, or maybe tomorrow. Utrecht, 8 kilometers. Rotterdam, 64 kilometers. Okay, on the way. Spoke too soon. I mean, this is just turning out to be an absolute shit day. So I'm at Utrecht on a motorway doing fucking 10 miles an hour. And it's so annoying because there's no accident. I'm looking at this, it's literally just the build up of traffic. There's just so much traffic. And the thing is this is going off where I need to go to the roads to Breda. I mean, everything's saying to do 50k, but no one's doing 50k. I'm doing 40, if that. And then it slows down and then it almost comes to an absolute standstill. Yeah. Look at that. Recenter. It's just totally red, and it's just, I think it's just sheer volume of traffic. And again, it's kind of like Copenhagen. You see around here there's just motorway linking with motorway, linking with motorway, with motorway, with motorway. You've got all of these slip roads coming on, and it's just the sheer volume of traffic. In the end, it just doesn't cope. So they've obviously got it seriously wrong in terms of planning here, because this is meant to be quick. You know, you should be able to shoot off. They're designed for speed. I think whoever designed motorways, or whomever designs motorways nowadays, need to throw all of the rule books out of the window and completely reconfigure them, because I don't think... Oh look, there's a British number plated truck. Wow.
In 800 meters, in 200 meters, and then a park right switch junction, use the right 2 lanes to follow.
Motorways are not designed to cope with the amount of traffic that's used on them. Either like the ramps are too short, or the curves to come off and go round, or whatever, are too tight, or whatever it is. But yeah, I think motorway design needs to be rethought, because this is literally, there's no accident, there's no roadworks, this is just congestion, pure congestion. The road is just not big enough to cope. Which is a shame, because now that makes my ETA 6:15, which is past the time I said. I've got a horrible feeling I'm going to have hassles with this campsite. I mean, all the reviews say they're really good and they're nice, but I've tried to phone them, I can't get in contact with them, the phone won't put me through, it keeps coming up, there's a problem, blah 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 blah. I've really got to keep fingers crossed that they're going to stay open and not cause me some hassle, because otherwise I'm in big doo-doo.
In 950 left. In 300 meters, keep left at the fork.
Because here we are, look, we've gone to 2 lanes now. It's gone up to 70, but you've also got to choose to go into that one to go to Amsterdam. So that was 2 lanes deciding, are you going to go to Breda, Den Haag, or go to Amsterdam, all within a short space of less than a quarter of a mile, to then work out which way you got to go. And I think that's a problem. And then you have this tight turn here, tightish turn. We're going to go all the way around to now go on to another motorway which is super busy.